Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, my favorite day, October 17th. So we're looking at the quarterly distribution for NQ. So we're going to do a top down real quick, take a look at a few of these higher time frames. So you can see that we are starting this last quarter in the middle of the range. So there's really no help. The price will go to one end or the other, usually by the end of the period. So we're right in the middle. Okay. Monthly range, we have just tested the upper resistance levels of the monthly. Um, this 15,478 was a daily bar, and that was your 4 week on the open. We've had two other monthly levels right below it, 15,416 and 15,317. So this 317 has been holding the resistance, and that is a monthly uh, PT level. And so that means, the trading days in the month versus like a standard 30 day or 90 day, whatever. So if this resistance holds up, you can see that we're going to be heading back towards 15,000 and potentially then striking those lower out of the money levels. So your ones really for the month don't end to 14,415. And so if you're looking for, a put on the downside, I really don't know if I would advise holding the one, but maybe go ahead and do that 3-1 put spread, or just downright sell a put. Maybe down here at the threes, 3-6, 13-6. Okay, because you've got two major institutions coming out, J.P. Morgan and Morgan Stanley, both saying that the market is going to start tanking. So at one point, they're going to start selling it off. Hasn't happened yet. We're still balancing inside the ones. This is the weekly, and you can see we're just inside the inside of the inside. Plenty of room to go up and down. I've got my range points for the week, uh, 498, 500 points for PT3. So if we measure from the top of the range going down, let me get this on here. I've got a little bit of a drag. So there's 181. I've got a long way to go to 498, right? So you can just project. And so you can see, wow, we're down here at 14,800. So that's a long way to go, right? If we were going to get the full PT3 uh, weekly range. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Obstacles to get there, you've got your first weekly three at 15,038. And of course, that 15,000 is going to be a big one. So that's your daily open. So that's going to be a big level, daily three, sitting there on the weekly blocker. And then, of course, here's that big weekly one, 14,928. So that looks like a really good level with your stopper right below it. So this 14,878, 14,928 could be that first weekly support that you're going to see. Maybe them tuck a stop right under this three right there. That was the prior week daily open. So maybe you would want to do a daily open to daily close one day prior, the 3 to 3, as your spread. But these white lines are right in the middle of that. So if we get any downside action, that's probably got a good bullseye on it. And like I said, they're trading for those 80, 90% out of the money strike locations. Make it worth their while. As someone told me, a volatility trader, it's okay for it to be balancing on top. It's more to drop once it gets going. You can see here in the daily, we're a little bit weak off that resistance. 15 210, 15 194. Here are your daily ones, burst targets. And here you can see we're balancing on the Globex. Went right up to the Globex 2. Look at that. Or that's actually a Globex 3. Went right to the Globex 3 off the open. Oh, that was yesterday's close. Okay, so definitely put the close and open of these indicators on your chart. So that's the 1700 to 830 on the close. So that was yesterday's level. So we can do calcs on the open as well. And that's the current level. And so you can see the current level was acting as support, and then that support just broke. So that's giving us our downside signal to come down here to this 15,221, which is your lower Globex 1 off the open. So we had gapped up, and now we're coming back to that level. Oh, that was the close too. Never mind. Got my compass off today. So that looks like it is the target for that downside level. Come back and test these wicks. All right, I've got an RTH template that I'm working on. So this just does your, inside RTH session. 1, 2, 3. Hit the side of a barn. It looks like that 15,217, 15,206 RTH ones. We can look at the VIX and see that we've got some of that upside vol happening here. Where's my open? I thought I have a current day open on this. What is wrong with me? Here we go. Okay. So you can see that we're on top of the open. So that's showing that potential for that downside volatility. And we're also breaking a Globex 1, going higher. So we're coming up to 18 again. Give the vol crusher something to fear. And then potentially 1866 for the RTH target, and then 1919, 1912 for those daily threes. For our 21, 23, 30, 37 spreads, let's make sure I reload this and make sure it's right. These distributions change every day. So you can see we're sitting here. Here's our balance of 1776, 1790. So this is our resistance. And once it clears 1790, it's going to hit that 18, right? But I think we're going to go up 1821. Clear 1821, it goes to 1977. So 1808 through 1821. Bit of resistance there for the VIX. And here's your 30-day, 7 day distribution, threes, the white lines. The white dash is the 8-day one. And I went ahead and put a few tails on it, even though they don't go to the tails, but once in a blue moon. The blue moon does happen, so you might want to just keep a few tails above and below just to have a target to trade to in case that happens. So with everything in the news, I figured we might as well put some tails on this because it fills it out too. Um, but you can see how they keep it inside the white lines, right? And that goes back forever. This isn't just a one time thing. I mean, they keep these spreads going because that's how the institutions rely on it, right? They give their money to these investment banks and they want a return on their investment, and that means the investment banks have to have a path that they're trading, and here it is, right? So that's why I have so much confidence when I get to the edge of these levels that it's not, the vast majority of the time doesn't mean that it's going to break it. That is the anomaly. And so it's also buy the dip or sell the rip opportunity. In the past, you have to say, going forward, that's not going to be the case. It could do anything going forward, but just as a normal distribution, that would be, the end of the line, as it were. So here we had a breakout of the 7, but we went to the 8-day one and just that first tail and went right back in. That's the kind of behavior that you're expecting to see. And here it is, that second entry by the dip. Boy, that was a sweetheart, wasn't it? And so here we're breaking above the midline, except we're balancing on it. And we were trapped yesterday, but now that trap has left us. So it's free to roam about the cabin if it can. So they vote Jordan in today, and this thing might take off to the upside, right? Get the Republicans back in control pretty solidly about that budget, not going any more haywire. So that might give us a little bit of a boost. Okay, so here is the weekly daily Globex for gas. Um, it's not always about crude. Sometimes it's about the gas. It looks like the crude is being normalized, so you can see the gas follows the JATS PT levels just as well. Here's the Globex. Hit that Globex 3. It's either going to break that for the trend or not. Usually it turns around, or it's the end of the line. Doesn't always mean it goes right back to the other side. It just means that it's not going to go forward anymore. It could walk up and down on it all day like yesterday. All right, so here is the NQ for a 30-minute. So you can put your range points up, and you can see the 30-minute was 85 points. So you can set your Unirinco up to 340 ticks and then get a nice channel, and then try to position yourself inside that channel for a trade opportunity. But you can see that there is a 340 tick range for that 30-minute. And once you start thinking in terms of where you are inside these ranges and how to approach that, 340 times 5, that's $1,700 to make, before you know for sure that you were right or wrong. Because it's $1,700 one way. And if we can time ourselves in the range correctly and get a nice trend day, this is what we want to see. Either long, long, long or short, 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 so that we can just trail it all the way down, right? And so there's many different strategies that we can deploy to do that. I like the bell curve for these probability distributions and trade to the target as much as I like, getting the bounce trade off the bottom or top, because this, outer area is your probability. There's your 95% of the time it'll get hit if it goes to the full range. If it goes to the PT3, sometimes it stops at the PT2, um, or the PT1, the 34, 68, 95. So just having something that you can use and visualize and see that, yes, the algos seem to react similarly to the same proposition by time frame. The breakouts, we've got tails. So we can either extend the Globex or the daily. I like extending the daily, so you can add tails now to the JATS PT indicator. Just click on use fib levels, and then you can set this to be anything that you want. You can do like a variation of that 34, 68, 95, or it doesn't matter what. Um, you can put it a 005. You could put 22. You could put a 618. Whatever you want it to be, you can put the tail levels on it. And I don't know why the tail didn't print there. Hang on one second. Let me try this again. Sometimes I get. Okay, some of these don't have any tails on them. What have I done to this template? Sometimes I'll get clicking and so 0.25, point 0.5, 0.75, and 1, that will give you a measured move outside the distribution measuring from mean to 3. So 0.25 is half of the mean to 3. Zero point 0.5 is one time actually. And the 1 is measuring from 3 to 3, going out. So the goal of this is not necessarily to hit that top or bottom tick. The goal of this is to hit your target. It's profit targets. So we want to set the line up to hit it because we're trading to target. We want to get that fill. We want to hit the line, profit target reached, profit target reached, profit target reached. And then you can set these profit targets in Blackbird to reach for your strategies, either using the daily levels or the Globex levels, or just coming in and using an hourly range. You can also set these up to hit an hourly range, or an envelope of an Asia session or a Globex. You can do anything that you want, points or levels. So we'll talk about that, and make sure you're clear on how to use that, and set these up, the plots for yourself, either in C plus or the NinjaTrader also has a way to create your strategies, easy language. So, but trade to target, set up the target so that it'll get hit versus just hitting a top or bottom tick. Um, I mean, top or bottom tick works also, but you want it to touch the line if when at all possible. So, for these tails. And that is that philosophy. So if you want to go back and look at that daily 3070 for yesterday's ES, you can see that we were hitting that level all day yesterday, pretty much from the entire session. It sat on it. So now we're freed. The levels have shifted. This these PT levels shift dynamically, just like the algos like them, right? The algos get a level freed or they're constrained. They're either pinned by it or the level moves and then now the market's free to go also. So you can see that we've spread out our range a little bit today, and that turnaround Tuesday could give us some double action, but that 43.40 looks like your support for the time being, right in the middle of that range. All right, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow in training.